So we're live, I think. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Most Music Talks, which is a talk series, a panel series that we do with people who are part of the Most Music Network or work in it. So welcome. We have today with us Katarina Mitić and Lana Kostic, and they are alumnus of the Most Music program, the first round. And my name is Ella. I work for that project in communication. So hi guys, thanks for being with us.
Hi Ella.
Great, great to have you here. This is a little bit of an exceptional Most Music talk because it's very topical, very thematic. We wanted to focus on women in the music industry, which is a very broad topic, but nonetheless quite important to talk about, and also a little bit sensitive to talk about maybe, or not that easy to grasp. And I'm very happy to have you here because you both, in my mind at least, really represent people from the music industry who are not held back by being women and are very good at taking this position and being seen in the music industry. So this is what I kind of want to talk about today. And let's just start by, if you could just quickly introduce yourselves, let us know what you do and how you ended up in the Most Music program. Maybe Katarina could start, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I can start. Okay, I currently wearing a few different hats, but I think that it's like all my life is the same situation. I'm working for a feminist organization here in Serbia. It names Femix, and Femix is supporting girls and women from Serbia in different kind of arts. One of our most famous projects is Girls Rock Camp here in Serbia, and that's the only one Girls Rock Camp in this part of Europe. I like that to mention. Besides that, I'm part of the team of Czarnó Music Concert International Agency. We are promoting and organizing concerts not only here in Serbia, then in other countries also. I'm a Ph.D. candidate. I'm actively working on my Ph.D. thesis in music and media. And I'm working also like music supervisor for a few big companies here in Serbia, and have my own little project, Music Storyline, where I'm making custom-made playlists for the audience. So I'm very glad.
You do like 15 million different things.
But everything is like connected with music. So music is my love, hobby, and life. I like to say that. So before I participated in Most, I was part of one other project. It's called Sukarmus, and I saw the call from my colleagues from that project. So I applied, and I was lucky to participate in it.
Okay, cool. What's your research about? Your PhD?
My PhD is music in video games. Because cool. My master's degree, I'm a musicologist, and I worked on film music, but this is something new, different, and I like to investigate like new spaces for the promotion of music. So that was the idea. Yeah.
Thanks. And how about you, Lana?
Wow, so many things. It's really interesting. Well, I am a cellist, singer, composer, and producer. And like I am doing this Lakiko project. This is my main field of interest, or as a musician. And yeah, I'm like pretty much like a one-woman band, so I do everything by myself.
Even production, you said, right? So you produce your own music.
Yeah.
So that is also a very broad like range that you're doing there. That's definitely like you guys are similar in that way. I think that it's like music is such a broad thing to do. Yeah. Right. That is actually a very interesting thing for me to think about. Like, can you maybe recall like one opportunity that, or one moment that really got you into the music industry, that like one internship or job or one person who mentored you, or like something that sucked you in and that showed you that you can do so many different things at the same time? Or was it always kind of how you imagined it would be?
I can tell that I think that every opportunity can be the good one. I see like that, because I started my professional development 10 years ago from now, yes. And I like to mention that every new opportunity for me because of my own action and will to go ahead. So I didn't know any of my colleagues in every company where I was working, and I was working for two big major companies. One of that was Warner Music, and the other one was 20th Century Fox. But maybe I can single out that chance to work for the record label that is representing Warner Music here in Serbia, because I got opportunity and chance to organize a Warner Music annual conference for more than 60 delegates from whole world, and that was like top of the top creme management, for example, manager of Coldplay, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and bands like that, and musicians like that. So that was very, very good start point for all other jobs, because I had like a very good perspective and picture how it works and how it goes when you are like when you are like really in the music industry. So maybe that was one of the best chance for me, and I got it, like grab it and got it.
Yeah, and how did you get to that? Like, how did you get to those companies? Like, did you, I don't know, see a job?
I wrote a mail like, hello, I want practice in your company. And I was lucky because they were searching like a junior for like really for my position. So it was like how to say, maybe destiny, but I think that is what because of I didn't sit on and wait for the good opportunities. I'm constantly researching it. So that was the same thing with every my job. Like when I want something new, I started to research. So I sometimes I don't wait for open calls. Just send email and I'm Katarina. I had that experience and I want to meet you. Can we meet?
So pushing a little bit, right?
Yeah,
like being, and that's sometimes for me, it's not always easy as a girl or like as a woman to do that, because you don't want to be too pushy. But yeah, absolutely. How about you, Lana? Do you have any? I mean, as a musician, I guess you didn't start 5 years ago, but
you know, I kind of totally agree with with everything, but like. From what Katarina said, like this part when she wrote the mail, and that's the thing. I think, like I make my opportunities myself. That's the thing. I cannot say, you know, nothing happened. Like no opportunity happened, but yeah, I just go for it, and that's like you really have to make your own opportunities. I think that's my experience, and that's the way.
And as a musician, how do you, or like as a performance, how do you find that? Like, do you go to showcases, or do you apply for showcases, or what is the best way for you? What has been the best way to create these opportunities?
Well, actually, I mean, behind opportunities, you know, I think there's a bunch of work. It's like, you know, I'm in the music like more than 20 years. So, but like, to really work a lot, to really practice a lot. And then, you know, and then it's some kind of combination between work and also luck, opportunities that happen. So yeah, it's like sometimes, you know, when I started this project, I was writing emails like, I want to play, you know, I need to experience. I want to play at your bar, or I want to make a home concert, things like this. And like, it didn't work all the time. So, you know, after, you know, I don't know, I was rejected a few times, but then you just get used to rejection and it's fine, you know. And then you know, things happen, you know, one little thing, and then some I don't know, festival manager, someone hears you, and then they invite you, and then, you know, it's not a one-way street, I think.
Absolutely. So like opportunities kind of build on each other, and like sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, and that must be okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. What is there? This is the hardest question, but let's get through it. Do you think like could you do like give suggestions to someone who's starting out, like right now in the music industry, is a young woman and wants to do the best they can? What's your?
I would just continue with my previous yeah, and that's, you know, really work. I think, you know, hard work, really hard work, and, you know, to believe in it. I know it sounds very simple, but I think that's the thing what I would suggest to someone.
It's hard work to believe it. It's like to get the confidence to do it. Do you mean, or what do you mean by this?
By what?
By you said it's hard work to believe it, really.
No. And, I mean, one thing is hard work, and the other thing is to believe in what you do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm often thinking, what would I tell to my younger version, and not only the other girls that to my younger version, and I will tell them, and like always, to listen themselves, to believe in themselves. Don't listen to people who are telling you that you can't do something, or to people who does not appreciate what you do enough, because they are not the right people on your street, like Alana said. So they just need to be like to work, and to work hard, of course, but to be to try to work their work with love, and like because the final results will always come. The good final results will always come. Patience, of course, and to support other women also, because I think it's not only women, of course, all other colleagues, but that kind of woman power. it's so important, I think so.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I was also, when I was thinking of the questions, I also thought of my own career, and like it's both of the two big jumps that I did were thanks to a woman recruiting me, basically. So that is, I mean, not to say that that's the only way, but it is definitely something we can do if you see someone talented, to focus on them a little bit. So that's great. Thank you. And that's actually a question I have, because we just came back from WOMEX a couple weeks ago in Porto, and there were quite a few women professionally represented on the stage on the trade fair and all of it. And I was wondering which area of the music industry do you see the most women in your region, for example? Like what do they do? Are they managers? Are they more musicians? Are they like, what is the landscape like?
My experience that they are most in part of the organization or promotion, but I think that that's something what we need to change. For example, this project I mentioned, where I am working like the main coordinator of Girls Rock Camp, through this project we are trying to show on good examples from industry, like that mentors should be women who are good musicians, so that any girl could play drums if she wants. So that kind of good examples from practice is also important thing, and that's the only way to have healthy music industry ecosystem, I think so.
Yeah,
So to diversify.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I totally agree with this. And I think like what I realized, there are very few women in the techniques, like technicians or producers. And like I realized it when I saw like Julia Holter, and the sound engineer was a woman. I was like, wow, she's a woman. And this was a very weird thing because, yeah, why not? So, and I think in the percentage, it's like, I don't know, 3% women are producers.
Yeah, that's very little.
Something around that. It's like bizarre. Yeah.
I could add also, for example, in our organization, FEMIX, we are like doing constantly statistics from this local scene, and only 6% of alternative music scene in Serbia are women. Like, yeah, so yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Oh, I would have guessed so much higher. That's so interesting. Maybe that's also part of the problem, that there are like a few women. I feel like, oh, it's 50-50.
So they need much more support from that early age, I think so. Like, so not only that, but that's one of the main reasons. So we can change things.
Yeah, and I definitely agree that there are fewer women in the technical side, and maybe more in promotion and communication, and which are like somehow more feminine industries and less, considered less manly. Did you ever, how to say? Do you often get comments on being women in when you work? Does that happen to you still?
Well, my experience is like with with my equipment on the stage. Yeah, like every time there's a guy who's a technician and he wants to teach me like how to, cable things and connect things, and I'm like, I really know what works here. So yes, this is a very common thing. Like almost every time, really, like almost every time in every city I played, things like this happened. So, but beside that, I couldn't name any bad experience.
Okay, so it's being noticed, but not necessarily in a negative way, but still you always are reminded that something is
it's like because I think it was because I am a woman, they think that I don't know how to cable my things, or how to use which thing, or how to even one time a guy told me like, I will show you how to cable your microphone, and I was like, what, really? Like he was 10 years younger than I was. Like, really, you want to show me? Oh, how nice. So yeah, it's in a negative way, of course, because I didn't ask them for help. So
yeah, that's also that's negative. Absolutely. Have you worked with women technicians? So you said that there are very few of them, but do you have different experience with them?
I just saw this one woman recently. So no, I haven't worked with her.
Did she try to teach you how to cable your microphone?
No, she didn't.
Okay. Okay.
See?
Okay. How about you, Katarina?
I had opportunity to work with girls technicians, and really good technicians. That's the idea of all our projects. So, for example, next week we will have some online concert, and one of girls are like will be held the technique part. So. I'm always happy when we had opportunity for that, and we are always supporting them. Also on Girls Rock Camp, we had that mentorship part for young girls to know something more about sound producing. So that's and we had very good feedback for that. So I think we are on a good way. I totally agree with Lana. I can see that every day, like in our job, that kind of situation. For my example, I like to say that my start point was a little different because I'm coming from the main city capital, from the ghetto hood from Belgrade. So I'm very direct girl, and I always when I don't like something, I will tell you that, and you will see it on my face. But not all the girls are so we need to support that girls who are shy and how to say, they will sometimes step in some occasions because they are girls, and that's not the good thing. So like I already mentioned, we need to support each other, and when we see that kind of situation, we need to step for them and to support them.
Yeah, definitely. It's also that's just such a big jump to make. I feel like to be okay with yourself being assertive or like be direct. And sometimes for some personalities, it's not that hard. It's not that complicated. It depends on how you grew up. But like in Hungary, at least, it's not traditionally very feminine. And that it's just sometimes it's such a thin line that you must not cross, or unless you will be perceived as like a bit too much, I guess. And but I don't want to like strengthen these ideas. I'm just saying that like it's very hard internally to find that balance sometimes. And yeah, very, very good point. Yeah, one more thing one major topic I wanted to go to is being from the Balkans and a female performer, female music industry member. How does that interact? Do you think it's... I would like to hear your initial thoughts about just like, is that harder, better? What do you think about the Balkan brand as a girl or a woman? Sorry.
Lana,
yeah. Okay, well, I think it depends like what kind of music you perform. I think that's the main question. And I think like if you're trying to make pop music and you're singing in some Balkan language, then it's not an advantage. But I think if you perform like traditional music, world music, then it's probably a very maybe a positive thing to be from the Balkans. But it's also difficult because like people, expect some certain kind of Balkan music, or everyone has an idea what Balkan music is. So I think that makes it also hard to play with these ideas of Balkan music.
But for you personally, like, does it for you personally, because you play a more modern version, but still very much rooted in tradition? Have you found that that is positive for you as a box?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I think at the end it is the quality. I don't think it is like. I mean, what I can personally say, just that I'm like often in this brand of world music now. And I think it's because of the language, because I often use Bosnian language, and then I'm automatically in the world music. But maybe it's even more, I don't know, maybe this particular song was actually more classical, but just because of this language thing, you're in automatically in the world music scene. But yeah, I haven't lived, that I'm that I have less opportunities because I'm from the Balkans, or more opportunities. I can't say.
Yeah, well, you have to be from somewhere, and it's the Balkans, and so then it's not a problem. Okay, that's great. That's good.
That's it.
I agree with Lana about that part of it depends what type of music you are performing. But my experience that in this moment, I think that Balkan brand could be something positive. Because when I speak with my colleagues from other countries, they see the Balkan region as something exotic, and I think that could be a positive thing. But on the other side, we still don't have, I think, a lot of good opportunities if we talk about healthy music industry ecosystem. For example, we got Spotify in Serbia last year. Serbian music authors organization. I think they could work much better to support musicians and etc. But also this kind of projects like most help us to create a healthy ecosystem and some healthy community, so we can be better not only in our country then for all region. So it could be the positive thing, I think so.
It's very interesting that you both say that it's not a big not a very influential thing, basically, right? Like somewhat on a level of what's available and what's not really as a brand or not as a box. Because most music talks ago, Mila Georgieva was here from the Bulgarian Music Association, and she said that she thinks that actually it might even be an advantage in a way that because she's from a post-Soviet country, that she thinks that it is, did I say that correctly? Post-communist country, sorry. So that she thinks that like women's equality is actually a little bit better in this region, like historically even, and that she can carry that kind of self-confidence with her when she goes abroad as well. I don't know do you have thoughts on this? Because I thought so much about this, and I have no idea if this is really my experience or not. But there's something to it, I think.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure because maybe we can also talk about position of women here in that, like you said, post-communist countries. So I'm not sure about that situation. Lana, maybe you can add something, but I don't have like...
I have like so many things on my mind about this topic. And well, first of all, I think post-Soviet societies, like, I don't know, you hear many stories about this very influential Russian woman, who started a startup, who are very high business positions and etc. But I think it's different in the Balkans. I think I don't know like so many super successful women. I mean, of course there are many, but like I think it's different than in the, I don't know, in the Russian maybe part. For example, my story, okay, my both of my grandmothers, like one was a judge and the other one was an engineer, and of course it's different, for me than for example people in Switzerland who, when I was even born, in some regions women couldn't vote. I mean that's like insane, right? Compared to the Balkans, but it's still a very problematic topic, and I think maybe it was even better in the communist time than now because of a lot of religion and you know, and it's automatically the women are not as equal as men. That's yeah, my personal theory. But so it's both, you know, and also, like, from my personal experience, my grandmother, who was a judge, and she was like the main judge, and she was super, you know, a very important woman. But then she would come home and she would cook the dinner mostly, and she would take care of the kids, and like, I'm not sure, you know, this truly the self-confidence is equal, you know, with women and men, like, in general, if you could, you know, speak in general.
Yeah. No, that really gives voice to what I was thinking about. Is like yes and no, and like also it needs to bring in other elements, like basically education and just like opportunity, like how many opportunities do you have, and like is that still influenced by your gender? And it's a very complex question, but it's such an interesting one for me.
But I think it's also because of this, what I said, you know, I don't know so many women who made a firm, like, who are, you know, who took advantage, but I don't know also so many men, you know. It's like the mentality is like pretty much, I think, in the Balkans, like, oh, I want to, you know, it's like get a safe job in a I don't know, state department, don't do anything too much, you know. I think this is the state of the mind a lot. Not, I mean, I'm speaking in general, it's just my opinion, but
no, I know what you mean, and it is really tied to being a post-Soviet country, I feel like, because of the, like, this everyone being employed all the time, and then suddenly we have a free market, and then it's not the same anymore. I think it has a lot to do with this kind of looking for safety in that way.
I can add that, for example, in all my previous jobs, all my bosses were men. And my first women chief, how to say, or boss, was in a concert agency, Csarnó, and that was my best experience. And my boss is not from Serbia, for example, but she's living here in region of Balkan in last 15 years. That's not a good thing, because it's the same industry all the time, and every time in the top management there are men, and they are like making these decisions, and like I already said, it's not good environment, because I think we are still a very patriarchal society, how to say that. And as long as that is the case, we should talk about this and try to change things.
What do you think would be something that should happen soon? Like, what is something that you would love to see in the next 5 years that would, you think, help women in the music industry in your countries?
Do it yourself. Like, you know, don't wait for, make your opportunities yourself. That's the thing. And I think that's the difference maybe also between, like, this Russian woman example. I think they were just going for it, you know, like really strong, just, you know. And that's the thing, like Katarina, you said, like, in the men's are in the top of the, all in the positions, but they're all pre-existing forms of firms and things. And I think the way is to be independent, to try things, you know, by your own. Yeah.
To go for it, basically. So, like, don't wait for the opportunity to find you, and then yeah.
Yeah, but I think that, like I already said, they need support for that, because we can see through our different kind of programs for girls that they are much better when they are like only in girls project, for example, mentorship film project for girls. So they could be much they feel free to say everything, to try everything. So maybe we just need to the people who can should make good opportunities for them. For example, organization like ours, but also like the other companies who they should, when they had opportunity, they, for example, could choose maybe sometimes some to make that kind of environment for them. So that kind of a little project, how to say, and to be supportive, because they need more support, I think.
You just mentioned all girls projects. Do you think that has a negative effect on the perception? I always worry about that. It's like, oh, this is for girls, so I'm not going to listen to it because I'm not a girl or something.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. But I like to said when they ask me that kind of question, that not you should think about some girl from some small city or village, for example, from Serbia, not from the capital, because I here in Belgrade we have a lot of opportunities, but those girls don't have them. So we should make them some girls because in Serbia, for example, we had villages only with 2 or 3 children in them. So, and she want to play drums where she can try it. So that's the idea. And because they will tell her, oh no, that's not for you. Not only drums, the music is not for you. You should do something something else. So we should think like we should be very open about it, because we don't all have the same start point.
That's very true. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I keep thinking, at what age? What do you think is as a good age for someone to start? How to say? So, do you think it's necessary even as children to give specifically girls more opportunities, or does it start later when we are like?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Short answer. Yeah,
and I told you that project that we are doing, we like that's academic research, not just like we are talking with the girls that need more support. No, we have the results from the practice. So yes, the girls need support from primary school, I think so.
Okay, cool. And because you work with the people who create these kind of supporting programs and like the rock camp, how does it work really? Like, do you need any special training to be an all girls camps tutor, or like is it anything different from a normal music camp?
For us, it's very important to have to share the same idea and like to same values. And in our team we have also boys, not only the girls. We like boys and men. It's that's not like everything black and white, but like I mentioned, we should point the finger in good examples from practice, and that girls can do that. So we are also supporting that alternative scene here in Serbia, women scene, through that project. So there is just the most important thing is to share the same values and ideas. And that the idea is to support girls and to be like someone who can show them how they can do everything really.
Yeah, that's very nice. And I think as I was thinking about how you can organize this camp, it brought to my mind like for us it's very for us at the MOST project, it's not easy to create this whole the same level of sense of inclusion, because if it's an all girls camp or an all girls program, or it's whatever a framework program that supports women artists from the Balkans, then of course that calls out to women. But we have this problem that we advertise our calls that are now open for 2 more weeks until the 12th of December. You can apply if you're an artist, you can apply if you're a manager, or if you have a festival or a music club. But we have almost quite a high percentage of the applicants are men, and we are struggling to market for women because they see the advertising and they just don't click on it as much, even if we emphasize that it is also for women. So I just feel like if it's not an inclusive, that's not the word I'm looking for. If it's not exclusively women's program, that it is harder to get women's attention. And I wonder if you see this around yourself, if you see, because you've talked a lot about having to be out, like direct and create opportunities and find opportunities. Like, do you see in your vicinity women in the music industry who just don't really feel like they can join programs that easily?
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think that this kind of conversation, like today's conversation, is a very good thing to show them that they can really, they should apply for it, because like I already said, every opportunity could be the good one, and we should spread the story about the projects, and like I want to say that, for example, through some projects, maybe I totally agree that not all projects should be exclusively for girls or women's, but maybe some of the topics could be only for them, for example, or for all for the whole group, but it's the important the perspective is the important thing. So I think that's some kind of the solutions, not ideal but the good one.
Good. Okay, what do you think, Lana, as a performer?
Yeah, that's very difficult to separate, me as a performer and like as a part of the society. So I have to talk about the society, and that's, I mean, the problem, because it's a problem, it starts very soon. Like not soon, it starts very early. So if you're a girl, then, you're not so much encouraged to try things. And that's, I think, like if you see on a playground, like boys are always you can do it, you're a man, you have to do it. And if you're a girl, like no, you will hurt yourself. And that's the first start. Well, that's the starting point of this whole problem, that women don't apply, that they're like maybe more scared to be rejected or to fail. And I think that's a problem of society. But the other thing, what's very important, what Katarina is doing, it's like to show the positive examples, because it is different. If you just see a woman playing drums, if you just see and you're a kid, you will notice it. So I think that's a very, very important part of it, to be present as women, like on stage, behind the stage, in organization, in the management, just to be present. So that's
absolutely, representation matters so much. Like I play the drums, but I only started a couple of years ago, and I always wanted to play the guitar because I saw a lot of girls play the guitar, and that was somehow more acceptable to me. But I wasn't good at it, so I stopped. But it's really, really such a big, important thing that you just said about seeing other women do the things that you might want to do. I had a good question in my head about this, and I forgot. However, we have a question in the comments, which is, I'm going to put it on the screen. Could you recommend us some cool female performance from the Balkans? Other women.
The first one is, for example, Josipa Lisac, right? She was like, she's very old now, but I think she started before Björk and all this Lady Gaga, to have her, performance, her voice, her look, like, yeah. So I think you could check her out.
I could recommend Lana, but also recommend Tamara Ristic, Kez. She's combining Balkan music with electronic music. She has so beautiful voice. I think now she's living in Ljubljana in Slovenia, but she's from Serbia, and it's really something different. I didn't hear something like that. I maybe never hear. So she's very unique in that kind of performance. So that's my recommendation.
Okay, thanks. And yeah, I'd like to ask for one more short round of recommendations. Is what kind of programs or scholarships or organizations could you name or like call out for memory right now? Sorry, this is an impromptu question that you would recommend for girls to follow. That helps. Sorry, we keep saying girls, but in Hungarian it's the same word. Sorry, women to follow. Yeah, you guys, yes.
I'll mention Femix here from Serbia, but we are also working with some other similar organization from other countries. Here in Serbia, we also have a BFM organization. For music, I think, of course, most now. And for example, you mentioned Vomex. It's also a good opportunity to connect with other colleagues and to see and find something new. So that's for now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Oh, it's my turn.
I think so.
I don't know so much. I don't know so many organizations. I'm sorry. Of course, I'm super thankful to be part of most program. I really enjoyed it, and I have an incredible mentor. So it's like, yeah, and all this whole thing, it's like amazing. The idea is really great. So yeah, this is what I can recommend with all my heart.
Thank you. And you will play at Sea Festival, if I'm not wrong, right? Very soon in
I
Balkan.
hope so, but you know, with the new Corona thing, but yeah, I hope so, yeah.
All right, okay. It's fingers crossed then.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you both so much. You've said so many very insightful things, and thank you for being here and sharing all this with us.
Thank you, Katarina.
Thank you, girls.
Okay, thank you. Goodbye. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day too. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.